How's it going, YouTube, Facebook? It's your guy, Professor Smell Good, live here at my shop, 700 Shane, East Lafayette, inside of the Family Fair Marketplace. And what I want to do today is I want to talk about a lot of people, they wonder and ask the question, where did the name Professor Smell Good come from? Where did it come from? And that's a really good question, right? Because in order for you to know the answer to that question is actually getting to know me a little bit better. Okay, so that's a good question. So if you don't mind, I got a lot of bottles that I need to fill up. So in the process of doing that, I will be telling you where the name Professor Smellgood came from. A lot of people, they say, how did you come up with the name Professor Smellgood? And the reality is, I did it. I did it. I did not come up with the name Professor Smellgood. The name Professor Smellgood actually was a name that was given to me because of a craft that somebody saw in me. All right. It's a guy named Ralph that comes up here. One of my loyal clients. He purchased from me, and what happened was, it was actually right here. It was right here. It was Ralph. Who else? It was Bobby G from the radio station. He's also a very consistent client of mine. Bobby G, Ralph, and it was like 3 or 4 other guys right here. When I was selling my oils, they bought something, but they were just sitting back. You see what I'm saying? They were sitting back and they was watching how I sell the oils. And every single person that came in, I had a sales pitch. I had a fragrance from each and every person. Every question that people asked me, I had a quick answer for it. I had a quick answer for it. It wasn't, it was a straight to the point answer every single time, right? What is it? What is it that make the thick stuff? The fragrance thick. I would tell them, Herculean D, break down the fragrance, the notes and everything. And so the guys were sitting back and they was watching. They was like, wow, that guy really know his stuff. Ralph, he said, listen, hey, mama, he said, Issa, I got a name for you. I said, what's that? He said, you the Professor Smell Good. That's what he called me. He said, you the Professor Smell Good because not only are you teaching people how to smell good, but you're teaching people about the oil too. And you're teaching people how to sell it. You feel what I'm saying? So you the Professor Smell Good. And I said, you know what? That name right there, it does pretty much fit me. I like that. That name really fits me. So that name, Professor Smell Good, actually stuck with me. I had a lot of names. Me personally, myself, I'm the type of person where I don't believe in, giving names. I'm not giving names to myself as far as with this oil game. Give myself the name of such and such. I'm not saying that's something that's wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. If you do it, then, more power to you. I'm not knocking you at all. But I've just never been that type of person. And I guess the reason why is because, I come from playing street ball. I played street ball a lot back in the day. And I remember when, back in the day, I used to try to, imitate hot sauce moves. And so people used to tell me, like, listen, man, you ain't hot sauce. And they was absolutely right. They said, listen, man, you got your own flavor, man. And so we're going to give you a name, but we're going to wait until we see what you got to offer, and then we're going to give you a name. It actually took a process of, might as well bring these over here. It took a process of actually 3 years. And you know what they called me? I was given the name in Memphis, Tennessee when I was going to Sheffield High School. They called me the Ghost. Ghost because now you see me, now you don't, because back then, I had the quick handles. What's going on? Because back then I had the quick handles. All right, I had the quick handles. How you doing? 3 samples of the oils? Yeah. Okay. Both of you guys or just one of you? Mm-hmm. Just you. All right, this is the new one here. Aqua Tornado right here. Which means everywhere you go when you put that on, you're sucking up compliments wherever you go. Mm-hmm. Let her smell it. If she smiled, it means it smell good. It smells good. She smiled. Oh, it does smell good. Yeah. Got the big bottles on sale for $5 too. Yeah.
You got any of that, my flavor, Hypnotic? Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's right there. Got a whole lot of those right there. Can't beat them. They on sale for the $5. I normally sell them $7. And that bottle lasts you 4 months too.
I think I want this one.
All right. What about her? She want to smell good. She want to smell good too. You don't wear that? You don't wear oil?
That's the real oil. That got alcohol.
No, oil's don't have alcohol.
No, pt.1 alcohol.
You talking about the sprays,
No, I'm talking about the oil.
the oils? Where you get your oils from?
I don't get it. That's why I know. That's why I'm.
So how do you know? So how do you know about it? You don't get it.
Because this man showed me, he said this is the one with the alcohol and this one without alcohol.
No, that he's talking about the sprays. You know what they put in it to make the oils?
What?
They use different variations of oil. Mostly what is called DPG. They use that to make the oils. After it comes from the base, they put the DPG in it, which is pure oil.
Pretty safe.
All right, yeah, have a good one. All right. All right, so back to where Professor, you just got a lesson right there. Professor Smell Good. People think they know stuff, man, until they run into me and I tell them what it's all about. All right, but anyway, so that's what I was called. That's what Professor Smell Good. That's what they said, man. Listen, man, you break down everything, so you the Professor Smell Good. I said, you know what? I like that. So to go back to what I was saying before about Memphis, Tennessee. When I went to Memphis, Tennessee, when I was playing basketball, anybody that knew me before I became Muslim knew that basketball was my thing. That's all I did growing up, playing basketball. So when I went to Memphis, Tennessee, I was playing in the court, and a guy named Chris called me. He said, listen, you are the GOAT. And I said, why you say that? He said, because your handles are so quick, and you're so quick with the handles. Now you see me, now you don't. Now you see me, now you don't. So he said, you the GOAT. I said, okay, I like that. And so that name stuck with me. I earned that name. I didn't just give that name to myself. That name was given to me. All right, so the same thing with the oils. I'm not saying that somebody to give themselves a name is something bad to that. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying as far as myself, because where I came from, you know, basketball, and what I had to do to get the name, the Ghost, I refuse to give myself a name when it comes to the oils too. So I would just call myself Issa. I first got a name, this was like probably 7-8 years ago, when I was on the west side of Detroit, over there in the Glendale, Woodrow Wilson, Woodward, all the way back to downtown. That whole area over there, actually from Mac Nichols and Woodward all the way back to downtown. Even Linwood, all the area over there. North End, all over there. West Grand Boulevard, all over there. They gave me the name the Oil Man. That was the first name that they gave me, the Oil Man. All right? And the reason why they say we call him the Oil Man is because every time I see him,